guys, my name is Arnesah. I am a flight attendant in the States, in the US, and I am 26 years old, going on 27, and I have been a flight attendant for just about 5 years. Although I have worked in aviation since 2011, so that puts it, this is my 8th year in aviation in total. Anyways, I am currently in Orlando, Florida, and I figured that since the lighting is so good, this would be a great opportunity to film my frequently asked questions video. So, I have a notepad with all of these questions that I've been asking that I thought were relevant in the past month. But once again, I just want to get started. I want to say welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. I'm currently in Orlando, Florida, in the bathroom because that's where the lighting is good. It is currently almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Mind my face. My makeup has been on for 11 hours. And my hair is just frizzy because it's been raining all day. So let's get to it. I'm going to start off with the easy questions. My name, Arnesah. I'm a flight attendant for almost 5 years. I started flying at 22, although I have been in aviation since I was 18 going on 19, since 2011. So this is my 8th year in the aviation / travel industry. I have worked at a hotel before as well. We're gonna start off with question number 1. Mark, what an answer. Money. How much money do I make in a month? Now, I'm just gonna get straight to it. For some people, it's a touchy subject. For me, not so much right now. I have an associate's degree in college and I'm working on my bachelor's degree. But as of last year, I did clear $50,000. Just to specify, when I said clear, I mean well over that. I was quoting my income from 2017 versus 2018. But that depends on how much you work. There are opportunities to work overtime, to work minimum hours, maximum hours. It can be very flexible. I was somewhere in the middle. I did not work as much overtime as I usually do just because I was comfortable in my way of life. I don't have kids. I don't have too many bills. I mean, I have rent. I had a car note and cell phone and stuff like that, but I didn't have any major expense like a house or anything like that. So cleared 50, close to 60, and I was just working a little bit above bare minimum, just a little bit extra here and there overtime. It's different for every airline depending on how much you start, how long you've been doing it, and if you work a lot of overtime and take opportunities to work international flights, if you're the lead flight attendant, then you already right off the bat make extra money just because you're putting in extra work, which I don't really work the lead so much anymore, just because sometimes I'm not in that type of mode. So yeah, that is the money question. I would recommend, if you're curious about more specifics, to watch Glamour Magazine's YouTube channel. They have a video on the monthly expenses of 2 different flight attendants from 2 different airlines around the same pay grade but different years. So always do your research if this is what you think you want to do beforehand. Save as well, because in the beginning you're not going to make as much money as you think. It is kind of like an introductory pay or probationary pay depending on the airline. You're not going to make as much money in the first year, sometimes 2. Okay, next question. What qualifications do you need to become a flight attendant? Now, this also varies by airline. Some require a high school diploma or GED. Others require or prefer a college degree. I had a college degree and my high school diploma, and I also had customer service experience. That is one big thing. You're basically dealing with people and serving all day. I mean, we have other duties that we do need to take care of, but the forefront of it, customer service. You are representing whatever airline you work for, and customer service is a big thing. So if this is what you're considering to do for a living, or think about wanting to do it, get a job that entails customer service. So for me, I started off at 18 pushing wheelchairs in the airport, which was all customer service. That transferred to me working on the ramp, working on the ground, outside, throwing bags, and I also worked front desk at a hotel. Now, my very first job at 17 was being a cashier at a bakery. So that was also customer service experience. I had a little bit of a spell of piercing ears in the mall. Most of my jobs, besides working on the ramp at the airport, were customer service entailed. So I had years of customer service experience. Even at 21 when I applied, I had been working since 17. So that's 17, 18, 19, 20. I was going on almost 5 years of customer service when I applied. Once that happens, if you have a GED, high school diploma, or college degree and customer service experience, then I would say go ahead and apply if this is what you really want to look into. People think that they should go to a school to become a flight attendant. Unless you are trying to get hired as a private flight attendant or to work on private jets with wealthy clients, charter companies, it won't help you to go to a flight attendant school. It is a huge ripoff. Once an airline knows that they want you and want to hire you, they will train you. They will hire you and put you through whatever their training is. I heard it varies from about 3 weeks to 3 months, depending on what airline you work for and how many aircraft types and configurations of each aircraft they have. For me, training was a month. So I was hired. I did a video interview. Then I did an in-person interview about a month later. After the in-person interview, the very next day, like 14 hours later, I found out they wanted to send me to training. The thing is I had to wait 2 months to go to training. So from when I applied to when I went to training and when I started flying, I would say from applying to going to training was 4 months. From applying to actually flying on an aircraft as a flight attendant was 5 months. So that was almost a half a year. Some people, this takes longer and they don't hear responses so quickly. So just keep in mind when you're applying, it's not always super quick. For some people, it did happen that way, but usually it takes 6 months to sometimes 18 months to start flying once you've applied. Okay, next question. How was your interview for becoming a flight attendant? Fun. I met a lot of cool people who were in my class or in classes right after me. It was a huge social gathering of people, like a lot of people for an interview. So it's not just you and one person. There are sometimes dozens to over 100 people applying for that same position that you want, and you don't exactly know how many that they want to hire from your group. So when airlines hire, they usually interview hundreds of people in different cities or in one city, and they'll have interviews on different days, and then they pick the best candidates from each interview and offer them a position to go to training. Whether you pass training or not is up to you and how much you study and how hard you work. But the interview was fun. I was a little nervous, but I knew that if I was just myself, I answered truthfully, honestly, and gave it my all. If they wanted me, they wanted me. If they didn't want me, then it wasn't for me. It was that simple. So it was before my in-person interview or group interview, we had a interview via camera where I was talking to a camera. For me, I was super comfortable because I was a performing arts major in college and I did YouTube covers, like singing. still on my YouTube page. Don't look at them, I'm sorry. They're not very good, but I was very comfortable in front of a camera talking as I am right now. Let's see. Would you see yourself doing another job? I have done other jobs. I love my job. I love the flexibility. I like doing something different every day. Would I see myself ever doing another job? Maybe. But it would have to be in the same industry. Sorry for so many ums. It would have to be in the same industry, travel industry, hotels, airline, or a different part of the same airline, because I just think I found my niche and I can't see myself working a regular 9-to-5 job. I've known this for 8 going on almost 9 years of my life, to just be doing travel and aviation. I'm just comfortable and I love it and I like to travel, so I can't see myself in another industry, but maybe doing something a little bit different would be cool, but not right now. I love what I do right now. What are your goals and aspirations? That's a good one. I find my goals to be ever-changing. I never saw myself as a flight attendant. It was more of an opportunity when I applied, and I really wanted to move out of my hometown, and it was a way to do so. But the more I did it, the more I fell in love with it. And I was young when I started in aviation. I was 18 and I was 21 when I applied to be a flight attendant and 22 when I started flying. So the goals I had at that age versus now are different. And I think that's why I'm still working on my bachelor's, or started working on my bachelor's last year, just in case, I don't know, I might change my mind for goals for myself. Right now I'm working towards those goals. This is something that I never saw myself doing. YouTube, social media, that whole 9 yards, more piggybacking on performance, my actual first degree that I haven't been using for 4 years. So yeah, they're forever changing and expanding, and I don't have a specific goal. I have many goals that I hope to accomplish before I hit 30, so I've got a little over 3 years to figure that out. What is your dream job? Right now is my dream job. It's actually a career, and I'm glad that I got into it early. My seniority is great. I'm still young. I can live my life. I hold weekends off, most holidays. I can have fun, and I don't stress. So this right now is my dream job. I can't get any better than this right now. How do you stay motivated? Sometimes it's difficult, especially if I'm working extra hours to save up for something, or to go somewhere. For me, when I'm working a lot, I think of my paycheck and how much extra will I make just by working this extra flight segment, or how much extra will I make for just working these extra 2 or 3 days. And I do the physical math in my head on paper, and I'm like, you know what? Sorry, I'm in the bathroom. I calculate it and I'm like, you know what? I could really use that next month for this. And that's what really keeps me going to work overtime. Staying motivated outside of work. I have days where I'm just not motivated. I just try to get as much done on those days where I feel that extra energy to get up. If I wake up refreshed, if I didn't have an alarm clock, if I have a day off, I'm like, you know what? I can get this, this, and this done today. And that just gives me that extra oomph to get things done. I try to get as much done when I have that type of energy than to try to lull it out over the entire week. Or some days I'm just not feeling it. Jet lag still exists for flight attendants. It's not as easy because our body has adjusted a lot more than the regular person, but it still does exist for us. So keep that in mind. We have days, if we've been working so many days in a row, and we've been flying from coast to coast, from country to country, we're tired. And sometimes you just need a full day to recover. But
I try to sleep as much as I can, and I calculate how much I make, and that's how I keep myself motivated. Do you have any regrets after becoming a flight attendant? Yes, but not the job. I love my job. I wasn't regretting becoming a flight attendant. I was regretting what I did after I became a flight attendant. I moved out of my dad's house when I got the job. So I was living at home, had just bought my first car within the year prior. I was trying to save up some money, figuring out what age I wanted to go back to school for. I was taking a little bit of break, just working, seeing where I wanted my life to go. And I got offered this job, and me and my best friend wanted to move. So I got offered a job for that fall at a hotel in Florida, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to wait that long. And this opportunity came up over the summer, got hired, and ended up still having to wait till fall. Problem is my best friend was already in Florida waiting for me at that point. So I moved out of my house within 6 months of becoming a flight attendant. I was going back and forth within 3 months, and then by 5 or 6 months later, I was living in Florida, making the bottom of a flight attendant's salary at the time, struggling to the point where I had to pay my car payment or my car note 1 month and car insurance the next. I moved to a big city. Although rent isn't that expensive in my eyes now to what I pay, because I pay more now, I couldn't afford it back then. If you can stay home with your parents or live in a crash pad or like a dorm situation with other flight attendants, do that as long as you can. Save as much money as you can, because you do not, for the first year, make as much money as you think you will. That is my only regret. I should have saved more money and waited longer to move out. And my first 2 years of being a flight attendant would have been so much easier if I would have saved for the first 6 months to a year. Let's see, the hardest thing about being a flight attendant, managing your finances can be difficult. Flight attendant pay is just a little bit weird. Some flight attendants don't get paid every week. Sometimes it's bi-weekly. Sometimes it's just 2 random dates in the month. You have to manage that with going from country to country, from city to city, because you're tempted to spend money on food in different cities and countries, on things you see, little trinkets, souvenirs. Well, if you're doing that every single day or 4 or 5 days a week, it adds up, and it adds up quick. So managing, sometimes I have to tell myself, no, I don't need it. I'll come back, or I've been here before, let me not spend that kind of money, just to make it so I don't go below a certain amount in my bank account, and also save at the same time. 1:30 in the morning. So it is time for me to sign off. I just want to say once again, thank you to over 1,000, or I think we're at 1,200 right now, YouTube subscribers. I also want to say thank you for 4,200 Instagram followers, and hopefully our family can grow a little bit bigger. And once again, I want to say thanks for watching. Thank you for all the positivity, and don't forget to spread it and pass it forward.